What's up, guys? FM Campbell here. So this is now the second episode of the Man United series. The link will be in the description to the previous episode if you want to check it out. Today, or the current date is on the game, it is the 3rd of February, so that means we're at the end of the January transfer window. I'm just going to give you sort of an update about what's going on, how we're getting on in all the competitions, and so on and so forth. So, first of all, we'll go straight in to the competitions and how we're doing. So I would have left you at the end of August, so here at the Burnley game. We went on, it's not too bad considering the team we got, but I say it's not too bad. We start off with a 3-1 loss to Newcastle away at St James's Park. Van Persie scoring the consolation goal for us. Then we returned to winning ways and we beat West Brom 3-0 in the Premier League. Paul Pogba getting one, Juan Mata getting one, and an own goal. Then, yes, what you're seeing is correct. We played a relatively strong team, but unfortunately we slumped. And when I say slump, I mean slumped to a 4-1 defeat away at Nottingham Forest in the Capital Cup third round, or the Capital One Cup third round. Sorry, and I don't know what it was. Maybe the tactics, maybe the sort of the players getting used to playing with each other. Team morale, things like that. We had a couple of changes. Plus, what you got to remember is a lot of the players that I was playing with at the beginning of the season, they were also still new players as well that Van Gaal had obviously brought in real life. And as you can see, this sort of blip continued, and we played. Herrera scoring a consolation goal in the 4-1 loss to Forest. And then the form continued where we drew 2-2 with Everton away, so Goodson, so not a bad result. Van Persie and Lucas Romero on the score sheet. Then, not a bad result, I guess. We imitated what happened in real life and we drew 1-1 with Chelsea. It says an own goal by Rooney. It wasn't. The ball was it hit the post, it hit the keeper, and then it hit Rooney and went in. So it was a bit unfortunate. But Angel Di Maria got the goal for us. Then we finally got to winning ways and we smashed Hull to pieces, beating 5-1. Daley Blind with 2, Van Persie with 2, and Romero with 1. Then the Palace game, Rooney with a hat-trick and we beat them 3-0 at home. Then we went away to City. Not a bad result at the Etihad, or the Empty-had, as I like to call it, and many others. Di Maria as well getting the equaliser, the consolation goal. Is it a consolation goal when it's a draw? The only goal, we'll say. Then Southampton, we beat them 2-0 at home at Old Trafford. Balanta and Rooney scoring. Then Arsenal, we managed to beat them 3-2. This was away at the Emirates, and it was Balanta, Romero, and Mata on the score sheet. And Raphael scored an own goal. Then Sunderland, we beat 4-0. Falcao with a hat-trick, and Di Maria with 1. Then Aston Villa, we beat 3-1 away. So at Villa Park, Balanta, Falcao, and Ulchik. I'm going to try and call him Ulchik. Ulchik. I don't know. Whatever you think he should be pronounced, put it in the comment section below. Help me out. Then we had another big game, another 1-1 draw, a 1-1. Wayne Rooney scoring against Liverpool at Old Trafford. Then we beat Leicester 3-0 at home at Old Trafford, and it was a Robin Van Persie hat-trick this time. Then we finally lost the game after quite a long run without losing. We lost 2-1 away at Swansea. Marco Reus with the consolation goal. Then we beat Stoke 2-1 in the Prem. This was also away at the Britannia. Balanta and Van Persie scoring. Then West Ham, we beat 4-2. We were 2-0 down as well. Van Persie hat-trick and Romero. Then we played West Brom. Marco Reus with 2 and Di Maria. Beat them 3-1. Then we drew 0-0 in the FA Cup third round, which I was very disappointed with. Away at Pride Park at Derby's ground. And then we returned to the Premier League and we drew 2-2 with QPR. Rooney scoring, Di Maria scoring, and Pogba with an unfortunate own goal, much similar to the Rooney one. Then we continued our unbeaten run, and we finally, in the replay, we beat Derby 4-2. Herrera with 2, Blind with 1, and Ulchik with 1. Then we drew 2-2 with Tottenham in the Premier League. So another draw against a big team. Mata and Royce on the score sheet. Then the FA Cup fourth round, we managed to keep the goals flowing, but we still conceded 2, although We scored 6, so it was 6-2 overall. Falcao with a hat-trick, Januzaj finally back from injury, Uldchik and Van Persie on the score sheet. Then we beat Everton 2-1 at home at Old Trafford. De Gea with an own goal. Again, this was another clumsy one just from the match engine where it hit the post. Rebounded off Lukaku. It looked like Lukaku's back and then hit the keeper and went in. He was sort of running away. He was basically going to go and head it in for the cross. It skimmed the post, bounced in, and he was on the floor, and it's just bounced off his back or off his side. Di Maria's dived to stop it from hitting the post, and it's just come off Di Maria and off his legs and gone in. But we won 2-1, and Carrick got 2 goals, weirdly. Then we just played Burnley, where we won 3-0 in the Prem. Nice, comfortable win. Rooney with 2, and Mata with 1. So we'll look at the squad. Actually, we'll look at the transfers and see what's going on. To be honest with you, I'm not going to lie. This episode's not going to be too long, or well, too detailed, I'd probably say, because not a lot has happened really. Let's go into it here. Right, so these are basically the only transfers that have happened. So everything before this was what you guys already know about. So we signed Ronnie Barker. I didn't scout this guy. All of a sudden, he just popped up as one of them sort of like recommended by a scout and things like that. But yeah, Ronnie Barber, he's a regen. Sort of 3.5, probably 4-star potential. He's a goalkeeper. So I mean, I was quite happy with that actually. He's already going to be potentially wise to be our second best keeper after De Gea. So I was quite happy with that. Then same again with Wellington Alexandra, centre midfielder, massive determination, massive passing already, from Brazil. He's currently out on loan, 18 years old. He's another regen, but it does need a work permit unfortunately. But just another player that's just popped up. I saw this guy because he's a bargain. Now, he looks a lot better than his rating. His rating's only 3-star, maybe 3.5. But in my opinion, he looks like he's got very similar stats to Lucas Romero. Maybe slightly better. But they are very similar players, both Argentinian. Both bought from the South American leagues. Go check out the South American leagues for centre midfielders, by the way, because there is a lot of them, especially youngsters, that you can get relatively cheap. And he signed from Estudiantes for 4 million. Then Mauricio Oldra, again another regen. Again, this is just on the basis of another one of my scouts. He's not that great, but I think I'll be able to make money on him in the future. So I've got him loaned out, listed for loan. Hopefully get him out on loan as soon as possible. But he was available on a free. It's £1 a week. I did kind of regret it after I'd done it, but if I can get him out on loan for a bit, and then I think possibly make a little bit of money on him. His composure needs working on, but he's 21. He's not great. To be honest with you, I'm kind of regretting it now already. What's happened going out-wise since then? Wellington Alexander's gone out on loan to Olympia. Ronnie Barber's gone out on loan to Rochdale. Gaston Gil Romero's gone back to Estudiantes on loan. It took about 6 or 7 tries from them to finally get him to come. And then I decided to let Leonardo Bittencourt go out on loan. A couple of reasons why. The fans were moaning about him a little bit, and he wasn't playing that much. For the simple reason that because we couldn't get rid of Valencia, I wanted to keep Valencia's value relatively high. So I've kept him as my second choice to Royce. But that meant that Bittencourt wasn't playing too often. Now, with my most common tactic, previously in other FMs have played this. A 4-2-3-1 with a ball winning midfielder or a box-to-box midfielder, deep line playmaker, then either an attacking midfielder or an advanced playmaker, and then either inside forwards or wingers depending on their preference. With a complete forward or deep line forward up top. Now, personally, I think that was one of the main reasons. It was actually after the Forest game that I mentioned, and I did say that about changing the tactic, that I thought I want to put a defensive midfielder in there. And because there's so many good defensive midfielders out there on this game, I went for it. So I'm now playing with this formation. Same back four, defensive centre backs with complete wing backs either side. And then I have either Carrick or Lucas Romero or Blind in the defensive midfield role, either as an anchor or a defensive midfielder, usually as a defensive midfielder. Then on the left-hand side, I've been playing with a deep line playmaker, and on the right side, either an attacking midfielder or an advanced playmaker, depending on what their preference is. And then same again with the wingers or inside forwards. Royce would normally be an inside forward, and then Rooney, a deep line forward or a complete forward. Now, another weird thing that I've had going on lately is I know Daley Blind played at left back in the World Cup in real life, but I've generally been playing him at left back. I've been trying to get Maksimovic out on loan, but unfortunately he was going to QPR, but then they got someone else in on loan, so their loans were then capped, obviously, because you can only have two. I think it's 2 per league or something like that, or 2 per, I don't know. So that fell through on the last day, and if I press continue, you probably have to see all these people making bids on loan deals, but it just not going through basically for Maksimovic. So because Shaw was injured, I've been playing Daley Blind at left back, and he's been a bit of a beast there, to be honest. Plus I've had Carrick and Lucas Romero as my 2 option defensive midfield, so the rotation of defensive midfielders is quite high, and there's always going to be someone that's going to moan, especially with Fellaini in there as well, and then we'd have Pogba and Mata, and also sometimes Rooney in here, and Herrera as well. The other problem is I was going to play, when I was playing the 4-2-3-1, what I planned for, my choices were to either have Rooney, Mata or Januzaj in the central attacking mid. So because I was sort of playing the 4-1-2-2-1, it took out this central attacking midfielder. So Mata started to become a problem, but he's actually doing well in this role a little bit deeper. We'll retrain him as a centre midfielder. But it meant that Januzaj becomes sort of not needed, I suppose. But then, because I had Old Cheek as my second choice to Di Maria and Bittencourt or Valencia as my choice on second choice to Royce, I sort of had a bit of a problem. So that's why I loaned out Bittencourt, because since Januzaj has been back, I've been playing either Old Cheek or Valencia. I did like to get rid of Valencia, but it's been really hard to get rid of him. I play Old Cheek and Januzaj as my second options to Di Maria and Royce. But Old Cheek is very, very young, so I'm just giving him a little bit of game time every now and then. He's only 17. Starting to look like a great player. He's probably 4.5 star potential. And then hopefully I'll get rid of Valencia soon. And then I'll play, basically. But then I don't know what to do with Bittencourt. Then I've considered like getting rid of Di Maria sometimes if Januzaj improves very quickly. So it's been a bit of a tough one. He's great potential, Januzaj, but he's not on the level of Di Maria or Royce at the moment. So that's a little bit of a one to think about. I've probably got what? So I've got Di Maria, Royce, Januzaj, Bittencourt, Old Cheek, and so we've got 6 wingers for 2 positions, basically. So let me know what you think I should do. Get it in the comment section below. The other problem we've been having is Rooney, Van Persie and Falcao are all on fire. Now, if you have a look at Rooney, Rooney's got 13 and 17. It's not too bad considering he's played a lot of games in the central midfield role, or the attacking central midfield role. Van Persie has got 12 and 10. So that's very, very good. He's had a couple of hat-tricks. And then where is Falcao's just come back from injury. Falcao's got 8 and 8. So I'm in an iron of what to do. Falcao's, obviously, as I mentioned in the previous episode, could become an issue because he's so expensive. So don't really know what to do there. But in the long term, I'd probably like to get rid of Van Persie. I've been offering him out every now and then, hence why there's some interest. So maybe look to get rid of him in the future. But again, we'll see what happens. But his value's gone down 7 million. Probably just from me offering him out, I guess. But, excuse me. So yeah, players that I'm looking for to buy. I want a centre-back, and I'm talking a leading centre-back and a young centre-back, a wonder kid. I want the young centre-back will replace Rojo, and the leading centre-back will replace Evans. So we'll then have a choice of Balanta, Jones, a wonder kid, and a leading centre-back. Ideally, I'd like Hummels and Zuma, but it's so hard to get both of them because Chelsea. I've actually got Zuma unhappy. He's been unhappy for a couple of months now. But Chelsea are wanting so much money, and I just want to get him on the transfer list so much. Hummels is ridiculously hard to get. I don't know. I had a bid accepted in the first transfer window for 35 million, but unfortunately the contract negotiations didn't go as planned, so it kind of backfired. So I'm still trying, but it's just so much money, and it's not money that I have at the moment because we're not really winning anything. We're not in the Champions League. Hopefully, we'll be next season. Then I want a defensive midfielder, and I'm talking either a leading one, excuse me, a leading defensive midfielder. Yeah, actually, it's basically a long-term carrot placement. I've looked at Strootman and I've looked at Goretzka. They're the two that I kind of like. If you've got any other suggestions, get them in the comment section below. Di Maria and Royce are fine. They're definitely my first choice. Then who else would I consider? Did I look at? I've looked at Griezmann for the left-hand side. Who else have we looked at? I think that's Lamela, but his decline in stats in a season quite drastically, or half season. But yeah, I think that's it. Then up front, I'd like to keep Rooney. Definitely going to keep Rooney because he's English. He's a great player. He's my captain, so he's in good form. 7.56 average rating. And then probably look to get rid of Van Persie because he's relatively expensive. He's relatively old. Make some money on him. Get a good replacement long term. And then possibly let Cal go as well and not fulfill the where is he contract? The future fee if we wanted to buy him. 46.48 million, so 47 million. So I don't really know what to do because I think it's going to cost me quite a bit of money. Fellaini I'll probably let go in the future. Maybe he's one to consider a replacement for Goretzka and Strootman maybe. But he's got a slight concern because he's not playing as much as possible. So I put him on the transfer list, but there's been nothing as of yet. Roque at goalkeeper. Daley Blind, I'm unsure what to do with him because he's great cover at left back, weirdly. So he's only 24 as well. His value is massive. I know he's best as the deep line playmaker, but he's been such good cover for sure. And I'll probably let Maximovic go soon. Just make some money on him. Obviously, we got him really cheap anyway. Peruzzi and Raphael are doing really well at right back. I might consider getting rid of Raphael because he likes a yellow card. He's a little bit injury prone. I know he's 24. Ideally, I'd like to get his value up a little bit before I let him go. But yeah, a couple of wonderkids right backs to keep in mind. I looked at Deschilio at AC Milan. But it's quite hard at right and left back. So let me know what you think. But going forward, this is how we're doing. So in the Premier League, we're second at the moment. We've played 24 games. Chelsea got a game in hand. Like I said, they'll probably run away with it. They have. We've got the two highest top scorers, though, in the league and the two highest average rating in Raphael and Rooney. But yeah, Chelsea are top. We've got 51 points after 24 games. That's 15 wins, 6 draws and 3 losses. Chelsea have only lost 1 game, drawn 6 and won 16. But they have got a game in hand on us. But we'll have to see how we get on. We are 4 points ahead of third, who are Tottenham. Arsenal are doing really, really poorly. So that's something to keep in mind for some of their players maybe in the future. FA Cup, look at that, next round. We're expected to reach the semi-final. But yeah, the next round we've got Chelsea, unfortunately, only in the 5th round, which is ridiculous. And the Capital One Cup, obviously, we're knocked out of. So that's how we're getting on. All the under-21s are pretty much out on loan, other than players that are sort of being rested from the first team, or they might come back from injury or something like that. Same with the under-18s. Nothing's happened staff-wise. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So get your comments in below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think I should do, what you would do differently, or what you don't agree with that I've done. One kind of thing I kind of do regret about this a little bit is I really jumped into it. And there's a lot of players that I'm sort of finding now that I'm thinking, if I'd have got him at the beginning of the season, or if I'd have found him at the beginning of the season, like I'm talking when the game came out, I probably would have gone for him and stuff like that over other players that I've got. But I think I've spent a lot of money, finances wise. Where are we? There we go. Not too bad. We've got pretty much no budget left. I say no budget. We've got a little bit of money to play around with. So it's right over at the wages at the minute. So really we have, about 15, 20 million after wages. But yeah, other than that, we've got quite a bit of debt that we're obviously paying off, similar to real life. They put my revenue down. The board's actually been quite tight now that I've spent quite a drastic amount of money. But we have spent a lot, let's be honest. How much have we spent? Bearing in mind that a lot of this is done over 48 months as well. Some of these transfers. But yeah, it's 117 million. That's on top of the 100 and something million that Van Gaal had already spent. But we have made 30, and there's quite a lot of potential money to be made as well in a lot of these players. So let's see what happens. But yeah, let me know what you think. Get your comments in, and thanks very much for watching. And I'll see you soon in episode 3. Cheers, guys.